Hello, and I'm back again. And as you've probably seen in a few other videos from UK YouTubers and from the superstar himself, Mazzy, there was a great meetup last Saturday, and it was a fantastic experience to meet lots of vinyl nerds and talk records and have a pint or few or several. And it was really, really nice. It was a bit wet and rainy to start with, but we went around a few shops. Really nice to meet John, the 6-inch pianist. I hadn't met him before, and that was great. Mazzy himself, really, really chilled out, very cool dude. Headley, really nice guy. Paris Hilton is exactly the same in real life as he is in his videos. Harris Hilton, got to get it right. Lots of people I didn't know them before, but really great. Fred from Belgium, Spectrum Archives, really nice guy. And some people, I can't even remember some of the names, but really, really top time. And maybe we'll do it again one day. It was a wonderful experience. I was a bit nervous at first, but turned out very nicely. Record people are cool people, so that was great. Got a few records, obviously, as well. I think John actually showed this one, which I also picked up from Sounds in the Universe. This great compilation, The Soul of Haringey, a real mix of sort of street soul, boogie, hip hop from it's about 1989 or something like that, late 80s. There's a great story behind this record. Watch John's video, he explains it a lot better than I will, but I definitely recommend. I think there's something on there for everyone. If you like sort of slightly more electronic music, that kind of style, which is actually very fashionable now, this really hits a kind of sound which is very 2024. So really, really nice reissue. So yeah, I'm going to talk about other reissues which I've picked up over the last 6 months or so. Some of them fairly recent, some of them a bit older, but great records, and I've really enjoyed all of these. Obviously I get quite a lot of records as time goes on, but yeah, these ones are ones that have really stood out for me. So I'm going to start with this one, which is a Latin album, and I really recommend this to everyone. It's just been, hadn't really been available on reissue for a very, very long time. I had seen a few original copies, but they were really expensive and a bit silly. But this has just been released by On High Records, and I believe another reissue is about to come out very shortly on Mr. Bongo. So, like buses, you wait for ages and two come along at once. The record I'm talking about is by Ray and his Court. Now, I think I've talked about this before. There's lots of great musical cities in the States. Memphis, obviously famous for the soul music, the country music. Chicago, the great blues, rhythm and blues, soul music that came from there, and later on house music. Detroit, obviously Motown, soul music, later on techno. Philadelphia, the disco Philadelphia sound. People tend to overlook Miami, and Miami is really interesting as a musical city because it is a true melting pot. You've got the soul, funk, jazz tradition going on there. You've also got the Latin tradition. You've also got the Caribbean thing of the reggae. And this is a really Miami record in that it's very much a Latin record. One half of it is really great Latin sounds, and the other half goes a lot more funky in a soul and funk sort of way. And it's a wonderful album. I cannot recommend this highly enough. I'm going to give you a needle drop, but I'm just spoiled for choice on here, because on the Latin side, it's all great. I really love the one that ends side 2, La Pena, it's called, and it's got this really nice use of glockenspiels, which gives it that really high frequency, which makes me think of like Lee Perry dub productions or something. Obviously it's got nothing to really sound like that, but it's just a wonderful sound to it, and the whole record has a wonderful sound, partly because a liberal use of glockenspiel, but also this kind of, I guess it would have been an organ, but it's very high pitched kind of organ, gives it almost more of a synthesizer sound, which makes it stand out from a lot of other Latin records, and a very good use of the bassoon, which can be a very funky instrument, as you find out. Moving on to side 2, you get the really sort of sought after numbers. Cookie Crumbs, great, nice drum break on that one as well. And Soul Freedom, great funky bassoon solo. This is a wonderful record. So yeah, this is the reissue which has come out on High Records. Sounds pretty good to me. Obviously I don't have an original to compare it to, but I recommend it. And Mr. Bongo, if they do their version as well, I'm sure that'll sound fantastic. Have a listen, but have a listen to the whole album as well. Seek it out and see what you think. I absolutely love it. Record here, which was reissued a few years back, 2021, but just recently released a 45 of the main song. This is on Kalita Records. This is the Al Dos Band. It's not actually a reissue technically, because don't think it was ever released in the first place, but it was recorded sometime in 1976, it says, and if it was reissued, it would have been very, very rare. But it's a wonderful, wonderful album. It's kind of marketed as a gospel album, and there's some gospely bits in it, I suppose, in some of the subject matter, but basically this is a blazing soul disco album, and it's really fantastic. I can't recommend this highly enough. I'm sometimes a bit suspicious of particularly a lot of gospel music which people have been getting into. Some of it's nice, but maybe it's a bit too gospely for my taste. You wouldn't really notice it on here. Just some great, great songs. Great two-step numbers. Don't Come Smiling Back, it's fantastic. The big song, Doing Our Thing with Pride, which is also the name of the album, is a wonderful, wonderful, one of those sort of mellow disco kind of tunes. Again, I think this is a really, really great album. The label here, Kalita, that's their logo. They've done some really nice reissues of very obscure, hard to find things, or things that never really got a proper release back in the day. Really, really wonderful, and very informative. I've got it here with the information about the band and everything. Yeah, really nice little package, that one. Recommend that. And going for a 45 now, I love what is called rare groove music, which is basically soul music, funk music, slightly disco music from the 70s generally and into the 80s, which was very hard to get at the time, and a lot of it's still very hard to get now. And there's lots of debate if you look at rare groove sort of chats and discussions about what is the epitome of that sound. There's a very particular sound, particularly here in the UK, for that kind of rare groove thing. And this lovely reissue 45 from Japan is of the tune which I think probably epitomizes that sound the best, that two-step rare groove sound. This is Starvue, and this is the tune Body Fusion. You may well know it, but yeah, it's been very nicely done here by P-Vine Records. They tend to be a bit expensive, these Japanese reissues, but couldn't resist that one. Originals of the LP are very expensive. Originals of the 45 or the 12-inch that came out are really expensive as well. So the album is like nice, but as with a lot of rare groove albums, there's maybe one or two great tunes and the rest of it so-so. So having the 45 with Body Fusion on is absolutely fantastic. A very what would we say, emblematic introduction from the heavy strings, and then it goes into that classic two-step sound. I'll give you a taste, but yeah, it's a wonderful record. Great to have it on 45. Sticking with Japan, this is a record actually from Japan which first came out, does it say here? It doesn't say here. I think it came out in about 2016 or something like that, a while ago. And I first came across it on YouTube, but it was really expensive to get the album because you'd have to import it from Japan, and it was just a bit silly expensive. But they've released now, many years later, some 45s from this album. The band is called Ryusenkei, and I think the reason that I first kind of piqued my interest is because the song has a very curious title. The song is called Tokyo Sniper. Kind of an interesting title for a song. Don't quite know what she's singing about because it's in Japanese. And you get this wonderful, really nice little package. Take it out here. Very nice cover, and that's what I think that was the album cover, was like that as well. Then inside you get rather nice inner sleeve there on CMT Records, and you get a little insert as well. And just to top it off, look at that, nice blue, goes with my t-shirt, makes me think of toothpaste. Yeah, it's Japanese music is kind of famous for the city pop sound, that sort of very light soul, disco-y kind of sound that was popular in the late 70s into the 80s. And this kind of does that. Good bass, which makes it nice and funky. A lot of that city pop sound can be a bit forgettable. When it's good, it's really good. And although this is a relatively modern record, it's absolutely fantastic. So really pleased to get that one on the reissue. It's lovely. then another Japanese record to finish up, which I first came across many, many years ago on the fantastic Dusty Fingers compilations. I've got volumes 1 to 13. Recently there was one on eBay, volume 14, which I'd really like to get. I missed out back when they came out. And I think in the end it went for something like 60 or 70 quid, so nah. This is volume 6, and it's a great volume 6. And the song that I really liked was marketed here as the song Dancer, the band being called Spacy. Now, the band is not Spacy. The name of the album it was originally from was Spacy. Here you can see with the OB strip, it's not Pacey, but Spacy. The artist is Tatsuro Yamashita. And this is a wonderful, wonderful album. I think originally, I think this would have been 1976, is it? I have no idea. 77, there you go. And originals of this very sought after and can fetch big money, so nice to get this reissue. It wasn't cheap. Japanese reissues are not cheap, sadly, but it's a great album. It's just, the production on this is just so well done. It's so smooth, it's so excellent. The big tune, the famous one here, is Dancer. It starts with a drum break, that's probably why. But the whole album works as a really nice, pleasant, kind of jazzy, soulful, funky times. Really, really, I mean, I know this is a real collector's album, this one, that they very sought after. So very nice to have this this reissue done. I've been listening to that a lot as well. I do love an original record for sure, but reissues do make life a lot easier as well, because there's some sounds you just want to hear. So that's some stuff I've been listening to lately. There's lots more stuff, and I will show that. There was some more stuff I got last Saturday in the great VC meetup, but I really liked it, and it's so reassuring to know the vinyl people are pretty cool. Anyway, until next time, hope everybody's well. All the best.
Now